Thank you so much, Paula. So as Paula said, I'm Tiffany. I'm the Legal Support Officer at ALAW. So today I'm going to present on how students can use their skills to help animals while also further developing those skills. Okay. So an overview, so first I'm going to touch on the factors that can influence the opportunities that you get involved in, and then touch on the student opportunities that are available to you, the barriers to those opportunities, and how ALAW can help with these barriers and the opportunities that you get involved in overall. So I think the first thing you need to do when you're setting out to obtain an opportunity to better your skills is to ask yourself a few important questions. So what is my end goal, and then what do you want to achieve from your experience before you go on to look at the options. So what is your end goal? What do you want to achieve? Is it that you're looking to further your career? Maybe you actually just have an animal interest, specifically animal testing or dog breeding or something that you want to help out with. Or maybe you just have some skills you want to lend to the movement, so you're keen to get involved in anything. So I think once you've decided, what you want to achieve and obtain from these opportunities, you can go on to look at what your options are. So I just want to give a quick note about careers, because I know that I did see yesterday quite a few people are interested in animal law specifically. So to be realistic about it, at the moment, if that is your interest, options obviously are quite few. All we need to do is look at the stats. We've got one animal law firm versus the vast corporate firms available. So that doesn't mean you can't be an in-house solicitor for an NGO or something of that nature, but I think those options are still probably quite few at the minute. But I do think they are growing. So I think an action item for students, if that's the career you do want, to seek out practical and relevant experiences right now. They will help you to probably obtain that career you want in the future. Okay. So what student opportunities are available? So you can do internships, researching, writing, volunteering, animal law classes, conferences and events, presenting, and mooting. So internships. Internships are great to help NGOs and organizations. They're also practical and hands-on experience for students, and you'll gain a lot of skills, obviously, to put on your CV as well. So as an action item for students, I think, who do want to get internships, I think it's important for you to reach out to, but also to stay up to date with relevant organizations that interest you, so those pertaining to the opportunities you want to seek out. But equally, sign up to newsletters and volunteer lists, because I think if you don't, you'll definitely miss out on opportunities. So just to kind of expand on the last one, the picture to the right is an internship that I had in 2017 in my first year of law. And I actually found this opportunity because I was subscribed to ALDF newsletters. So through those newsletters, I actually went to their website and then to their opportunities section on their website, and this internship with For All Animals was there. So fortunately for this one, I don't think they're all this simple, but it was quite flexible. I could work from home. I did it during the summer in my own hours, and I got to compare the US legislation to the Canadian, to the EU, and the UK to help ban cat declawing in the US. So it was extremely practical and relevant to what I wanted to go into in the future. Research opportunities. So researching opportunities are excellent, especially if you do want to go on and become a lawyer, a solicitor, barrister, depending on where you're from. And just very briefly to kind of compare the internship to the researching opportunities. So I think research opportunities are probably more easily secured than an internship. They're going to probably be less costly for a student, as well as less demanding of the time. I think as most internships often are a summer thing or a few month thing or a few week commitment, whereas researching opportunities will probably be a little bit more flexible for you. So again, the same as the other ones, you want to stay up to date with NGOs, organizations that you're interested in. Opportunities may not always be posted, so definitely reach out and say, do you have any opportunities for me? Or if you have an idea you'd like to research, why not pitch it to an organization or a charity, and perhaps they can probably accommodate you. Next, so writing. Writing is incredibly important, I think, especially for this movement. It helps to raise awareness. but equally it will enhance your writing skills, your researching skills. You're going to build a portfolio that you can then share with future employers or future projects you want to get involved in. And it helps you to gain exposure in your career, in your studies. And then of course it influences positive change. You really never know who's going to read these. It could be somebody who has no idea about the animal issue that you're writing about, so you could inspire somebody else or educate somebody else. So as an action item, search blogs and student publications or publications that accept student writing. Inquire with publications and organizations that interest you to pitch ideas. Maybe you want something published. You can reach out. They might be able to accommodate you in their publications. I think writing for uni blogs is extremely important because it's not necessarily an animal audience. So you're going to get obviously more people involved, and it's going to make animal issues become more mainstream. And then I've already said about pitching your ideas to organizations. Volunteering. So I guess all of this is really volunteering, but specifically with this slide, I'm talking about volunteering programs that you can get involved in, or different volunteering opportunities you can seek out. So specifically, it's going to obviously enhance your CV. You're going to develop certain skills depending on what your volunteering program is, and you're going to obviously provide support to an organization while also helping animals. So as an action item, again, follow social media accounts, platforms, sign up to newsletters, research specific interests that you want. So obviously don't, just research animal volunteering programs. If you want something based on policy, or if you want to help at a shelter, seek out those specific opportunities. And be creative. Obviously, you've got the ability to reach out and try and create your own opportunities. And just to expand on the bottom one about being creative, the picture I've included is actually one that I was able to film when I was in Romania helping dogs. So one Christmas, my partner and I, we wanted to travel to Europe to help animals specifically. Something that we didn't already know about. So we came across this charity called REEN in Romania, and we asked if we could come help them. So they said, yeah, sure, you can come and spend a few days at the shelter and help the animals. So we started a GoFundMe so that we could give them some money as well. So we set out, we drove from Cluj to Bucharest, and with some of the GoFundMe money, we were able to feed some of the dogs along the way, because there's stray dogs everywhere. And then we helped out at the shelter. So the reason I'm telling you this, because post this trip, I made lifelong friendships with a few of the girls from the shelter, and since we've actually gone on to create our own charity to rehome dogs. So it's just currently getting getting charity status at the minute, but we have launched the website and everything. And further to that, I've also been able to write in AJ UK about it. So I created the opportunity for myself and found out that it's actually a really big passion of mine. So you never know what you'll find and what doors it could possibly open. And just some volunteering programs for students to inspire and motivate. So the first one, Lobby for Animals, is a volunteering program I found in the US. The founder, Thomas Ponce, was 12 years old when he founded it. So, I mean, if that's not inspiration and motivation for us, I don't know what is. And it's become very successful. So essentially, it's a lobbying organization. So Thomas has created a platform that will essentially pull up environmental bills and animal bills that are being considered to be passed. And so as a volunteer for Thomas, you've got to be a law student or a lawyer, or have knowledge in the legal system. It doesn't have to be the US legal system. And you create letters. So you create persuasive letters that the general public can access, and they can lobby the government themselves. So that's a really good experience. It's in the US. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but you can do it remotely. And then Wildlife Direct, this is a legal internship. So it's in Kenya. You can go to Kenya, attend court cases for the ivory trade, prosecution cases. And then next is Ter Emrecht, I think I'm saying that right. You can be a legal intern in Switzerland, and you'll learn of the important work of their organization while also gaining practical legal skills. The Cornish Seal Sanctuary, so you can go to the Cornish Seal Sanctuary and volunteer to help rehabilitate seals and other animals. And then lastly, the Humane League. So as a volunteer there, you can support their campaigns. This could be writing persuasive letters or educating the public on various industry standards and practices. So next, animal law classes. These are incredibly important. You'll learn about education in an extremely niche field. You're going to enhance your CV and develop skills and network. But equally, there's a barrier that there's not many classes offered in the UK at the minute. So if you are fortunate to have one, I recommend you take it if you can. So an action item, take the course. If your schedule can accommodate it, I recommend you sign up. If it's not offered, why not consult the faculty? Ask them the potential of getting one implemented. Maybe it won't be during your studies, but certainly it could get the ball rolling for the future students who are coming in. And next, attend conferences and events. So obviously these are going to help your networking, your confidence, your communication skills, and equally networking. You never know who you could meet or what opportunity that could create for you. And of course, it's going to build a larger community to create positive change. So as an action item, routinely check websites and other social media. Inquire with organizations that you're really keen on attending an event. Ask them, do they have any events coming up so you're sure not to miss it. And then lastly, host an event as a student. So the photo here is actually a conference I held at Leicester Uni when I was studying, and it was an amazing experience, and I was able to network with multiple different charities and groups. Next is presenting. So presenting obviously is going to help your future career. I think even if you're not doing stand-up presentations, you're probably still going to be doing weekly updates, monthly updates, so you're still presenting in some fashion. So it's going to enhance your confidence, build your communication skills. Depending on where you're presenting, it's networking as well, and researching and writing skills if you submit a paper to present. So as an action item, submit papers to conferences if there's a call for papers. Seek out opportunities that let you present. So that could be debating or mooting, announcing speakers at conferences such as this. And then equally, I think because presenting probably tends to be something that people don't love so much, choose something, for your first few presentations that it's a little bit less intimidating, so you can kind of build up your confidence and your skills. And then mooting. So mooting is obviously incredibly important, especially in the legal world, or for the students who want to go on and have a legal career. So it will enhance your researching, your application of law, forming legal arguments, debating, presenting, networking. And I think importantly with animal law moots, it's putting animals on the practical legal extracurriculars at unis. But again, solely animal law moots are few, but I believe that is changing. So as an action item, host your own moot. We'll come back to this one as well. Ask your society about the potential upcoming moots. Maybe you can suggest one of the cases be an animal law moot, because after all, probably the question itself doesn't really matter, as all the skills are transferable, but at least it will help to bring animal law mainstream. And of course, you can take part in non-animal law moots, because as I said, it's all transferable. So indirectly, you are helping animals, and you're preparing yourself for a future career. So strengths and weaknesses. I think this is incredibly important to know. The things that you're strong in, you can build on those and make them even stronger, and provide that skill to an organization who really needs that. But equally, your weaknesses, which probably aren't necessarily a weakness, but more or less an unknown to you, and maybe something you've not physically done before. And after doing them, several times, you may actually realize it's one of your strengths. So I think presenting is probably something people generally don't like to do. So as I said prior to, choose something that's less intimidating. So I know the RSPCA offers a program where you visit children's schools and you present on the work A-Law does. So you're presenting to children, which is a lot less intimidating than presenting a paper at a big conference. And then you can work your way up. So the barriers to these opportunities, it sounds warm and fuzzy and like there's lots of them that I've explained, but there are a lot of barriers to these, of course, especially in the animal law world. So barriers are accessibility. So as I said, the one in Kenya, that might not be feasible for students to get to. Additionally, the ones in the US, maybe again, you can't get to those, which then draws in the cost factor. So physically, students probably can't afford to travel to Kenya to obtain these opportunities. And then that also draws on time. Maybe you don't have 3 months to take off to go to Switzerland, as well as the funds. So it depends on what your interests are, and there obviously are different barriers to every single interest. And then of course in the animal law world, availability, because obviously options are fewer. And then if your interests specifically are, policy work or, being able to shadow a lawyer or something of that nature, again, they're going to be even further probably narrowed, as opposed to if you wanted to, say, volunteer at a shelter, which is arguably probably a lot more opportunity exists. Because this slide is a bit of a sad one, I've put this dog there. This is a dog from Romania as well. Despite the hardship that they go through, they're quite lovely dogs. So I think the message I'm trying to give you is that despite these barriers, be optimistic. And I think really you need to create your opportunities. You may not be able to create a career for yourself, but I think that the path that you take now, eventually will probably lead to something to where you want to be. So again, create your opportunity as a solution. So make use of all the contacts you've made. So the students who've been here this past 2 days, if you've got business cards and people said reach out, absolutely do that. Reach out to them, because I'm sure they're more than happy to help you and they know what it's like to be in this position. Pitch your ideas. You never know who's going to be listening and who may want to take that on board. So I think, the idea that I'm trying to put across is that although opportunities are few, we need to flip our thinking. So rather than think that there are no opportunities, think, this is such a new and niche thing that we can become experts. If you have a passion and you're dedicated to it, I think you will find something, or you can create something of that. So open your own doors and create your own opportunities. So how can ALA help? We can help with volunteering opportunities, collaborations, student activities, research, special interest groups, events and training. So for events and training, obviously you can check out our social media platforms. We're always posting when we have upcoming events or training sessions. Special interest groups are something we're in the works of. They will be announced soon, we can say. And then I'll touch on the student activities, but very briefly, we do keep a portfolio of volunteering, students who are interested in volunteering. So all you need to do is reach out to us. We'll send you a volunteering form and we'll keep a portfolio. So when an opportunity does arise, we can reach out to everyone who's interested. So we've got student ambassadors at ALA, we've got student groups, we have the AJ UK writers, we have the annual essay writing competition, which Sam spoke about yesterday, and then mooting, which is quite new for us, and we'll get to that. So as a student ambassador, I believe at the minute we have 24 across 21 universities, so there's a few with multiple ambassadors at the moment. Obviously, that's going to change in the next month with the start of the new term. So as a student ambassador, you represent ALA at your university, as well as animal law and animal interests. So as an ambassador, you can host mooting, you can host debating, you can have a bake sale, you can have a film night. The flexibility is really yours to do what you're interested in. And we're open to all of the options, and we'll support the students along their journeys as student ambassadors. And of course, there's tons of skills to learn and develop from this. Leadership, public speaking, planning, organizing, networking, there's tons. The student group is obviously very similar. Apart from that, you've got a larger group to support you. So we do recommend that you have at least 2 students before you form a group. But obviously, if you're a student who wants to form your own group, that's okay too, and we can support you. So how does being an ambassador or a student member or a group member help animals? So what you're doing is you're bringing awareness to the UK and to the universities about the importance of animal law. You're going to broaden the animal interest network. And as well, you never know who your work is going to inspire. I know from my experience when I was at Leicester Uni and I started a group, students didn't know this was a thing. So students would say, I did zoology because I didn't know animal law was a thing, or, I'm going on a different path in law because I didn't know I could do animal law. So, you don't know what the students do and don't know about it, or who you're going to inspire, who may get involved in the movement. Writing for Animal Justice UK. The edition I've got here is actually the one we've just put out recently. This is our special edition. Thank you to Natalie. It's lovely. And this is about animals in tourism. So we do launch 2 a year, and then the special edition as well. So Animal Justice is an online magazine, and it's written by students, academics, and lawyers, and it's really a place to learn about legal protection of animals and the policies and philosophies that underpin those laws. And obviously writing for this is going to enhance your skills in so many ways, as well as raising awareness, because you never know who's going to read it and learn about all of the issues that we are writing about in the e-magazine. And the annual student essay writing competition, so Sam spoke about this yesterday. Sam was actually our winner, and the journal that's posted there is the one he's got his winning article published in. It's just come out just recently, a few weeks ago. Yeah, so basically with the essay writing competition, we'll choose a topic at A-Law, and then we'll invite students to write on this topic. And there'll be cash prizes for the students, as well as the top winner will have their article published. It's a fantastic way to strengthen your writing, get noticed, get published, and to raise awareness for animals. And mooting, Sam again, bless him, keen student. So Sam last year hosted the very first Animal Law Moot, the Cecilia Moot, at City in London, and he's also our student ambassador for City. So because of the amazing interest last year, he and A-Law this year are planning to have a national moot. So the way we foresee this is that the students will have their own moots at their universities, and then there'll be a large competition in 2020, sometime in the second term, for probably the top 2 winners from each uni to come and to compete in London. I've got Sam's student email, or Sam's A-Law email there for anyone who's interested to reach out to him, because he can provide you with all the info about the moot. And then just very briefly, some of our student accomplishments. So this is one of our past ambassadors, Maria Elena, and she enjoyed running, so she used her skill of running to help to raise awareness for animal law and A-Law as well. She's wearing our nice fancy orange t-shirt over there. And she's raised 710 pounds for A-Law as well. This is Robin, who's a past ambassador as well, and he actually formed a student group, and he and his student group often went around to animal sanctuaries to volunteer at the sanctuaries. And I just want to read you a little blurb of what Robin had to say about their opportunities, or sorry, about their experiences. So Robin says, "We believe that experience like this provides a great opportunity to learn about anti-speciesism and nonviolence as a philosophy and a way of life. Furthermore, interaction with other non-human animals allows us to see them as individuals with distinct personalities, and to understand them in a way that cannot be achieved in a classroom setting. Such understanding is crucial to our ability to think critically about existing laws, social arrangements, and how they can be improved to better protect animals." And this is Sam and a few of his group members at the Friend Farm Animal Sanctuary with one of the pig residents. Balaz was a past student ambassador from Leicester. She's now passed on her role to another student. Balaz also ran a student group at Leicester. So Balaz had a vegan bake sale, and she used the vegan baked goods to start a conversation about animal law. And she also raised funds as well. And then just a few more. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list of all of the student accomplishments, but just a few that I wanted to name just to get a general idea of what our students are doing. So we had ambassadors Lauren Peach and Tanjeet Singh from Birmingham. They're both past ambassadors, and they hosted myself and Alice, who is now working with Advocates for Animals as well. Alice spoke about animals in tourism, and I spoke about A-Law. And as well, student ambassador Ian, who's been here this past 2 days and presenting as well. So Ian hosted 2 events in Strathclyde. One of them he hosted Mike Radford, and the second event he had a panel on animal law. Right, so in conclusion, I think, no matter what your skills are or your interests are, I think there's a place for you, whether that's presenting, researching, writing, organizing, networking, or maybe you're tech inclined, or maybe you're more marketing inclined. It doesn't necessarily have to be law, or, it can be running, as Maria did. There's a way to contribute, and all skills are needed. And lastly, in case I haven't said this enough, if you have a vision or a passion and you can't find a way to kind of show that, I think you can create it. And to end, here's some happy chickens kicking a soccer ball. Thank you so much.